This is S.H.I.E.L.D., a shop which is soon to become the best place in the galaxy to buy some weapons. Not just this, but I might have ended up having some pretty big bombs to the game. Welcome to Arrested, folks. The sun rises on you, TriCaster. I'll say the lens flares do a lot of heavy lifting for this. Actually really glad about the performance improvements here too. That took some work. Or is it sunset? I don't know, it's kinda hard to tell. Regardless, before we get into anything, I've got to talk about my plan for today. The main thing is being able to purchase items, which can then be held and used by the player. Next, I'd like to have some more visual indicators of the damage sustained by a ship. And I think, beyond everything else, I just want to add some cool explosions, to be honest. So, here's what I need to add from here. Holding items such as guns and using them. Visual effects of ship damage maybe? I don't know. Actually making some guns. Bombs to drop. American style freedom delivered straight to your door. So, without further ado, let's get started, shall we? Before we begin, by the way, make sure to like and subscribe. It helps me a lot. Right, so, holding things. Now, in video games, we use a thing called inverse kinematic. Pretty much, if kinematics is doing the rotations and then finding the positions, inverse kinematics is the inverse of that. That is not... Good time to remind you lot that this does not represent the final release of the game. Anyways, it should be relatively easy to make our way to hold things correctly. Just have to add the inventory slots for the hand. Oh, we also need to make an item to hold. Luckily, we've got... mortar seed. Anyway, I think we're ready, so let's test. What the fuck? I forgot to give the player the mortar seed, actually. Alright, needs to be the late update, doesn't it? And after moving the map into the correct part of the script, it works great now. Now the hands need to go in the right place, so we'll just create a few references for the IK nodes, set their positions, and... nope. Not really. Definitely not. Well, okay, surely. Oh, come on! Oh, look, it works. After wasting approximately half an hour of my life with my own stupidity, the only thing left to do was make the items usable. But first, a side tangent. Yeah, so Cardinal True just released a video like 3 hours ago about like the size of like full Minecraft world. If you took every single seed possible, if you took the square root of that, so then you multiply that by the width of the Minecraft world, convert that to light years, it is 27.2387 light years. Which is wild. Anyway, so like I can make that in-game. Basically, because of how I handle nebula in-game, I can create custom large objects in the sky centered around any star in-game. Okay, let's try the bullshit. Fucking hell. Huge. That is huge. That's giant. That's 172 light years from Bellatrix. And it is that big. Okay, this is a very thick atmosphere. You're gonna get that really cool re-entry effect. You will see that there are a few extra details. Crater generation. So it's actually generating craters. That's why generation is a bit choppy at the moment, because I still haven't really optimized it that well. I also added support for Godot's built-in fast noise light system. Every single place I've ever been to in Minecraft, a lot of what I've been trying to achieve in Arrested is like a sense of scale, a sense of like how big everything is, and I think stuff like that does it for me. Like, yeah. Anyways, Calling this a tenfold improvement is an understatement. Right, side tangent over. Back to work, lads. Fine, yeah. Or is it? Yes. Right, to make the animations work, all we need to do is add some sort of animation system to the interactions. Next, refactor the whole system so it's no longer a nightmare to work with. And...
that was easy.
okay, so, now we can hold items, and also use items. Now let's add a gun. First though, I decided to add a hotbar system, and also some basic inventory management because it's kind of important, I think. Kind of important, yeah. Okay, now for a gun. Yep, that's a gun, alright. Well, then we just need to write some debug code and some basic VFX. I'll just use it. Oh, this is really boring, isn't it? But it does work. And basically the only other thing I need to do is replace the debug code, and that's... oh, I finished it. I mean, we still need to do ammo. I'll leave that for later. After all, there's a lot more that needs to be done. So I've kind of become obsessed with a little game called Star Trekker. It's a pretty recent release. Came out only about a month ago now, but it is genuinely one of my favorite video games now. Mostly due to the vibes. I mean, just listen to the music, man. That's some good shit right there. But also, I am really bad at it. Like, come on, look how scuffed up my paint job is. This really can't be good for the ring. Also, I never replaced my air filters, so I died and lost half my money. So, I kinda wanna add stuff like that to a Resda now. So we're gonna use a feature of Godot called the decal. Pretty much, it's used to project a texture onto a 3D mesh, without having to alter material. Sounds great, right? Well, not entirely. You see, the way I want it to work, the decals would only affect specific meshes, but unfortunately the way decals are implemented doesn't really seem possible. Instead I have to do some finicky stuff with specific rendering layers. Also, I soon realized that my original plan, when it comes to damage rendering, that being a bit more of a localized sort of effect, that isn't really feasible with this. But for re-entry soot, and also for general damage, I can do a bit of a broader effect, which doesn't look too bad. And honestly, looking at this footage, the game really feels like it's coming together visually, much more so than the previous version. In addition to that, we can also add some nice particle effects for smoke and fires and stuff, which, I mean, let's be honest here, it is entirely unrealistic, but it still looks cool as hell, so it doesn't really matter to me. Anyways, I don't think there's much more I can do here, so let's head straight to our... Okay, I'm not gonna add too many guns at this stage, only about 1 or 2, since they have 0 use at the moment. But I just wanted to add guns, to be honest, so... I'll start with a basic hand pistol. For this, of course, I'm modeling it on the Desert Eagle! Beyond the basic silhouette though, I did mostly just try to make generic sci-fi gun for this, but I think it turned out alright in the end. Oh, and it actually kinda works! Animations are still a bit bad at the moment, but that will be fixed soon enough. Next, for some further variety, I added an assault rifle, which I based off the SIG NCX, which I then learned wasn't an assault rifle. Oops. But still big, bigger than I expected. Yeah, that doesn't look quite right. Okay, that looks good, but I'll need to add some sort of pose modifier to do that. So I added a pose modifier. Now, to see if it works.
Let's go gambling! Aw, dang it! Aw, dang it! Aw, dang it! Aw, dang it! Oh yeah!
And after some other tweaks and improvements, this isn't looking half bad. This took me 2 hours, by the way. And so we can finally circle back to the intro and finally transform the shield store into something more welcoming. That black void has scared me for too long. Anyways, I decided to just make a basic shop interior with plenty of display tables for future weapons. Right now there's not many to display though. I also created a cool poster to advertise the store, which also has a warning label from the government. So the way I see it, gun advertising laws are sort of treated in UCOP in a similar manner to cigarette advertising, only more so leaning towards reminding people that
with great power comes great responsibility.
I also imagine this would involve the government requiring advertising for mental health services within the shops themselves, as a lot of gun violence is down to that sort of issue. Anyways, that's the new look for S.H.I.E.L.D. I think it turned out alright in the end. Obviously not many weapons to display at this point, but you can now buy those 2 gun varieties from it, which is nice. And so with that now done, there's only one thing left to do. You ready for this? Speedrun. For a bomb, I took a penknife missile and made the back bit the same as the front. Okay, first things first, making a mushroom cloud. For this, I think I'm gonna screw around for 15 minutes until... Ooh, that looks nice. Next, I think a shaky camera effect is in order. I'm designing this to be easily extended for many different use cases. You'll see why in a bit. Next, I made a purchase item for the bomb and added it to the LSW store. That's Lastly Spacecraft Weapons. Basically S.H.I.E.L.D. but for ships. But wait, you say, you can't really give people with large ships the ability to bomb civilians? Or really, bomb anyone? How can this society not collapse into a capital of feudalist hellscape with the rich bombing anyone who they deem a threat? I don't know. Like, I'm gonna be honest, stuff like this probably won't be available to players on a non-military ship. Like, really, I'm only doing this so A, I can make sure you can actually hold things in some way, and B, I like explosions. And here we are! You can see the bomb is indeed able to be purchased from LSW. Nice. So, what I'm expecting to happen when the bomb is deployed, the Area 3D will trigger when the bomb reaches the ground, spawn the explosion, and destroy the parent missile. Anyways, that didn't work. The Area 3D can't detect static colliders, unless I want my game to run even worse than it already does. So I'm using a different method, where I just raycast towards the ground and detonate at a specific altitude. For our purposes, 50 meters above ground. The cuboid's the best so I can see what way the raycast is pointing. Also, it actually works! No visual on the explosion though. Also ridiculous camera shake. Let's try that again, shall we? Right now though, the explosions don't really do anything, so I'm going to add a function to the physical objects to make explosions work. To test this, I'm adding the ability to spawn a destroyable cube in the debug menu, along with fixing some stuff elsewhere. Okay, spawning the cube seemed to work, and so now, let's drop a bomb to test it. Okay, I didn't realize that would actually kill the main player character, which actually isn't something that can happen yet in game. So, I'll just fix that, and... And one more for good measure. Lovely. So, to finish things off, as one last stress test, I'll turn the yield of those penknives right down, strap 18 of them to the silverfish, and carpet bomb the Tosselin Desert. In hindsight, I don't quite remember why I decided to add bombs this episode. Maybe it was to fulfill some cynical urge to destroy everything I love. Maybe it was just to make some cool explosions. Maybe I just wanted a cool thumbnail. I was gonna say some kinda deep sounding stuff here, but honestly it's mostly just me doing stuff because it sounds cool. But I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Sometimes, you just gotta do what you wanna do, you know? In any case, whatever I wanted originally, I definitely got the cool thumbnail. My final addition was adding camera shake to the guns by extending that base camera shake script. Turned out good, I think. And thus, we can hold things. Your ship can get beaten up. We have guns. We have bombs. And we have those bombs exploding. And much more than that, today, we laid the foundation for many more things to come. And so, we come to the end of this video. I hope the new format was slightly more enjoyable than the previous one, but there is still one glaring issue. What will these new features be used for? Well, I think that will all be answered in the next episode. Stay tuned, folks. Until then, I think the final thing I can say is thanks for watching. And now, a word from our sponsor. Me! You've been listening to my music for the past 20 minutes. Music like this! And this! And even this! Do you want to have music like that in your video game? Or maybe you have ideas, but have no idea how to execute them. Well, I can do that for you. That's right, for the low price of only $50, I can make you some music like this. And for an even steeper price, I might even do this. But where, you may ask? Where can I find these brilliant deals? Logan M on Fiverr.com. That's right, Logan M on Fiverr.com. What does the M stand for?
Mortisine.
Order today. Please. I need money.